Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I talk about the NWSL, women's soccer, just soccer, only soccer. We have another US Women's National Team roster drop today, this time for 2 December friendlies against China. Game 1 is going to be Saturday, December 2nd at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Game 2 will be Tuesday, December 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So before I get into the roster, I'm happy to announce that a new US Women's National Team head coach has been hired and a contract has been finalized. Starting sometime around next year, Emma Hayes will be the new US Women's National Team head coach. Emma Hayes is currently the head coach of Chelsea's women's team, and once their season ends, she'll take charge of the US Women's National Team. I'm not really sure when she'll start exactly. Chelsea's regular season goes to May 18th, and depending on the Champions League schedule and how far Chelsea goes in the Champions League, that may or may not delay things. For now, though, a contract has been worked out between Hayes and the USSF, and she is officially going to be the new US Women's National Team head coach. Since Hayes is still with Chelsea, Twila Kilgore will be acting as interim head coach until her arrival. When it comes to these friendlies against China, I'm not expecting much change from the previous October roster. I am hoping to see Mia Fishel and Jayden Shaw, since those two were probably my favorites in the US's last friendly against Colombia. There's a lot of potential having those two in the attack, and also throw in Thompson as well. The US definitely has plenty of talented young players, but developing them is going to be essential. That being said, let's get into the lineup, starting with the goalkeepers. And since I'm filming this earlier, I'm just going to assume now it's going to be Alyssa Nair, Aubrey Kingsbury, and Casey Murphy. Alright, so for goalkeepers, I got it wrong. We got Jane Campbell, Aubrey Kingsbury, and Casey Murphy. Getting 2 out of 3 is still good. Wow, that is very interesting. Alyssa Nair not being selected. If you think about it, though, Jane Campbell had a really good season with the Houston Dash, so I can definitely understand her being called up. Since the starting goalkeeper position appears to be up for grabs, it's going to be interesting to see who will be the new number 1 for now. It'll probably be Casey Murphy. It seemed like she was the backup keeper to Nair. Now the question will be who will be the backup keeper to Casey Murphy. Overall, I think this is an interesting change to the keepers, not one I was expecting at all. Now, on to the defenders. For defenders, Alana Cook, Abby Dalkamper, Tierna Davidson, Emily Fox, Naomi Girma, Casey Kruger, and M.A. Vignola. Interesting selection of defenders. A little disappointed Sofia Huerta isn't here, and I'm surprised Crystal Dunn wasn't called up, but maybe there's a reason for that. It's cool to see Dalkamper again. Injuries have kept her away from the national team, but hopefully she'll be able to grab some minutes in these friendlies. I do like that Casey Kruger got selected. Attacking up the wings will definitely be beneficial for the US attack. It's kind of why I was surprised Dunn wasn't selected, because having them both pressing in the attack and creating those chances would overwhelm a team like China. Then again, we do have Emily Fox for that, so the press from the back will still be very strong. As for the rest of the defenders, Davidson, Girma, Cook, and Vignola, they're all fine. I think I would like to see more of Vignola. She seems like a no-nonsense defender. That being said, on to the midfielders. For midfielders, Corbin Albert, Sam Coffey, Savannah DeMello, Lindsay Horan, Rose Lavelle, Olivia Moultrie, Jenna Neiswanger, and Emily Sonnet. So RIP center back Sonnet. Now we have midfielder Sonnet. Yes, the change is permanent. I guess that solves our missing 6/defensive midfielder problem, but we also have Coffey for that as well. I'm very surprised Sullivan wasn't selected, because her and Horan have been carrying our midfield, and the whole team, together for so long. But perhaps Coffey and Sonnet and the other midfielders will be good changes. One player who I wasn't expecting to see get called up is Corbin Albert. I've definitely heard that name before. She plays for PSG and can play as a central and defensive midfielder. I haven't seen her play yet, but I am interested to see if she'll get playtime in these friendlies. It's also great to see Olivia Moultrie again. She was called up for the friendlies against Colombia, but I can't remember if she got any playtime. If she did, it probably wasn't much. Yeah, maybe she'll get more playtime in these friendlies. It would definitely be good for her. As for the rest of the midfielders, it's overall a great selection. There appears to be a good balance of youth and experience, and there are many midfield combinations Twila Kilgore can try. I think I would like to see players like Albert Neiswanger, Coffey, and Moultrie be able to grab some minutes in these friendlies. And before I go any further, when it comes to Kat Macario, according to Emma Hayes, she's not going to be able to play for Chelsea until next year. Therefore, she's not going to get called up to the national team until sometime next year. Hayes is concerned with Macario's knee, and in a statement, she doesn't want to, quote, take that risk, which is very understandable since Macario had already experienced setbacks in her ACL recovery earlier this year. So yeah, I just want to clear that up because many people are wondering what's going on with Macario and why she isn't playing at the moment. That all being said, let's move on to the forwards. And for forwards, Mia Fishel, Ashley Hatch, Midge Purce, Trinity Rodman, Jaden Shaw, Sophia Smith, Alyssa Thompson, and Lynn Williams. Before I talk about some of these forwards, let's talk about who's missing. Alex Morgan is missing from this roster. I haven't looked at X or Twitter yet, but I believe this could be one of the most contentious things about this roster. I know fans are split when it comes to Alex Morgan's performance this year. Some fans aren't impressed and think she should have been dropped from the national team a long time ago. Others say she shouldn't. So I'm genuinely interested to know what you guys think of Alex Morgan being left off of this month's roster. So let me know in the comments section below. As for the rest of these forwards, Kilgore seems to be focusing on having youth in the attack. As I mentioned at the start, I'm really happy to see Fishel and Shaw. In the U.S.'s second friendly against Colombia, Fishel opened up scoring in the second half of that match, and Shaw would score in the 83rd minute. I really like their attacking partnership, and I'm also very interested to see how these attacking partnerships continue to build and develop in these matches against China. Rodman and Smith have expressed they like their chemistry playing together, but what would happen if we throw Thompson or Purce into that mix? It goes back to what I said in the last US roster video / podcast. It's great that we have a mix of these youth players, but the challenge is going to be building that chemistry in the attack and getting these attacking players and the team as a whole to connect and play together. Obviously, chemistry isn't something that happens overnight. It has to be developed and worked on. Do I think it'll get there? Sure, but expect some silliness and some disjointedness and miscommunication here and there in these upcoming friendlies. There are plenty of new players in this roster, lots of potential, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the US team does in these friendlies against China. Anyway, what do you guys think of this roster? How do you feel about Alex Morgan being left off the roster? And how do you feel about Emma Hayes being the new national team head coach? Let me know in the comments section below. That is all I have for you guys today or tonight, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.